welcome back to this week's episode of Riding the Wall podcast. We're trying something new, so bear with us. Sounds like we got a little audio stuff going on, but we're going to work through that and try and make that better as time goes on. But again, welcome back. I'm Chad.
I'm Justin.
And we are still the undisputed tag team champions of the podcast world. And
we got a special guest this week.
Yes, we do. That's why we are trying some things out and going through, maybe have a few little audio difficulties, so bear with us. But we are having our web designer, our electronics guru,
our smart person.
Yes, our smart person, smartest guy in the room right now. My son Eric. He's in here to join us this week.
What's up?
And he's kind of new to the NASCAR stuff. He's known about NASCAR all of his life, right? You know, I mean, Dad raced back when he was a kid, but he never really followed it. He was doing kid things, and I don't blame him. So, but now he's older. You know, he's a dad. He's following in the footsteps, and he's watching the NASCAR and getting into cars. So, and he's going to be in the fantasy league next year, right?
Yep.
So, are you taking notes on that?
Oh yeah.
Trying to see the strategy and
let me see how well you was raised, Eric. Are you a Ford guy or a Chevy guy?
Oh, I'm a Chevy guy.
Oh, there we go. I trained him right. That's parenting done right.
You can't force them to grow up any way you want them to, but you just gotta let them do their own thing, you know.
Yep.
I got lucky. He turned out all right. So did you have a good week?
Yeah.
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 Been doing anything crazy? Not yet.
No, not really.
Well, it's not the weekend yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Justin? You had a good week? Busy?
Yes and no. I mean, nothing. No deadlines to meet, but
that's always a plus.
You know what I mean? It's one of them where you just I'm always looking for something to do, and I think what is it, Thursday, and I went through three 30 packs.
In one day?
No, from Sunday.
Oh, from Sunday. Oh, I thought you said on Thursday you did it. No, I was like, whoa.
No, I didn't drive up here after drinking 90 beers. That's the promise. But
that would have been impressive.
I swear I didn't do that. But bought me a 30-pack Sunday morning before the race. And between last night and Sunday night, I cleared 3 of them.
Yeah, that ain't bad. That ain't bad. That's an impressive Dolly shirt. I like that.
You like that?
I do.
Dolly's my girl, and I've said that on here before. I mean, I don't care if she is 80 years old.
It's still Dolly.
Yeah. I'd still do it in a minute. I'd do it in front of my old lady. She knows it. I've told her.
Well, at least she knows what's going to happen, you know?
Right.
There's no surprises. That's a good, proper relationship, bub, right there. No surprises.
Yeah, I'm open about it.
Yeah, well, that's the way to be. Well, I've been working, and it's been hot as hell, and I tell you what, the weather here in Indiana right now is just ridiculous.
It's nothing like Texas and Florida, though, have you seen?
No, I've seen it was way more ridiculous down there. It's like 115 or something like that.
Dad,
stupid.
I talked to Dad. He lives about 30 minutes out of Corpus Christi, and I talked to him on Father's Day, and it's gotten hotter since Father's Day, but on Father's Day when I talked to him, he said it was too hot to even swim in the pool down there.
Really?
Yeah, he said that it was 106 that day. Heat index was 125, and the pool water was 93.
Jesus.
He said they couldn't even swim. It was too hot to swim. Can you imagine?
No.
I mean,
no, because all day yesterday I spent in the pool, and I'm glowing red right now.
Yeah.
Sun's out, guns out, though. You know, I mean,
Absolutely.
I've only got BB guns, but hey, they're still out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was out working today, and the bush lights are going down pretty easy. So they're ice cold, and I'm burning hot. So
works out.
Yeah, it's good.
Match made in heaven. Right
It is.
there.
That's what I thought too. So what? We went to the races last night, and we had some pretty good stuff to talk about. It was
I didn't make it, but I was going to ask you how it went.
best races they've had so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
turnout. I mean, I seen the traffic going in there, so I figured it was a huge turnout. But it was also kid night,
Yeah, it was. I think the traffic was mainly for the fair, but it was a bit bigger crowd than normal. There was still room in the stands, but really good car count considering what they've had before. Um, Great racing. None of the same winners.
Really.
Yeah.
So the bounty paid off.
The bounty got claimed. Yeah. So if for those of you out there listening, they have a class which is catching on like wildfire. It's a Crown Vic class. We call it. Some of the tracks around here locally call it the Affordable Fords.
Affordable Racing Series.
Yeah, it's just for Crown Vics, Grand Marquis, stuff like that, and it's a cheaper way to get involved in racing, get started, and there's quite a few people around here that are getting into that, and as we go, they're getting faster. Guys are learning how to set these things up and make them go faster. And here locally at the I-65 Speedway here in town, they just started that track up. It's a half-mile dirt track. It's not very banked, so it's, they got to slow down quite a bit for the turns, but the straightaways are long. It's a fast track, and I'm glad to see that it's up and going again. Hopefully they can keep that going. But last night I think they had 20, probably 30 Crown Vics.
Yeah.
Yeah, which before they probably had maybe 15.
Yeah.
They had a Consi. They had to have a B main. Modifieds was 15 maybe.
Probably around there.
That's good
Yeah,
turnout.
15. That's the best car count they've had so far, considering it was a Wednesday night race.
Right.
They had, what else they had? They had the mini stocks,
Mm-hmm.
or the Hornets. Some people may call them front wheel drive. And
They do buses last night.
unfortunately, they did. Yes.
Yeah,
that looked. Whenever I was coming back through there, I thought I seen the top of a bus going around the track, and I thought that track's. I mean, it's a fast track for cars, but
It's not a fast track for buses.
No.
I mean, they could fit more buses on that track than they can at some of the shorter tracks, like maybe a Brownstown or a Sportsdrome. How many buses would you say they had out there? Maybe
Probably about 10.
That's what I was going to say. About 10. Two of them were short buses, but
good thing HR wasn't there.
I know. He'd have wrecked on lap one.
You ain't lying. He'd have been driving out in front of them.
If you don't know if we don't know what we're talking about, go back a couple of episodes. We've got a story about HR and
That episode's called "Throwing HR Under the Bus."
Yeah, there you go. Let's see, what else did they have? They pure stocks. I think they had maybe 15 pure stocks or so.
Yeah.
They were fast. The pure stocks probably put on one of the best races of the night.
I like watching pure stocks.
Modifieds had a great race. Ben Harmon did not win.
Yeah.
I was
Who took it?
what was his name? Logan Mounts or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And number 81, the one that was a couple
Yeah.
couple races ago. He was the only one that could really run with Harmon. But turn 3 just kept shutting him down. It was almost like he was stopping in turn 3. But the rest of the track he could hold his own. But last night he figured out turn 3 and was able to hold on and win it. Harmon got second.
Well, I mean, I know there's a lot of. We've had the Harmon discussion before, but he's a talented driver.
He is.
Yeah.
But just like we said, I mean, he's young. He's got a lot of room to grow. Hopefully he, like you mentioned in one of the past episodes, I mean, hopefully he gets out there in that garage with Dad and Grandpa and starts learning some more. Because I mean, it's great that Dad and Grandpa do that stuff.
Yeah.
But tomorrow ain't promised to nobody. You need to learn it while you got the opportunity to learn it.
Right.
So
that's how I learned how to work on cars, by getting out there and
yeah,
actually
driving
turning the
Chevys,
wrenches.
you always have to work on them.
Well, yeah. I was tearing them up, I was catching them on fire and hitting people with mine, but yeah, that's how I learned how to.
That's why I can't rebuild a motor. I've always driven Fords. Never had to.
What do you think about that?
It's like, I would think that would contradict what I would assume before.
Right.
But
What did you think about the races last night, Bob? It was the first one that you went to.
yeah, they were awesome. I haven't been in so long since you stopped racing. I haven't been. So it's been like 10 years or so.
Yeah, I quit
And-
racing in 2010.
Yeah, it was awesome. A lot, faster than I remember. You
Yeah.
just think about it in your head. They seem slower, but then you're up close and they're just flying by. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and they can get some speed out there in Scottsburg.
Oh yeah. Those longer straightaways.
Um, which track do you think is faster, Scottsburg or Brownstown?
Brownstown, because the bank turns and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a bowl.
It's easier to throw that car around there when the
Yeah, and
bank
hold
turns
and hold that momentum going around that turn. It's Brownstown's. It's just, if you've never been to Brownstown Speedway in Indiana, it is definitely a track you got to go to before you, at some point in your life, you have to go there, because it is just, it's an amazing track to watch.
I mean, there's a reason that the circuit goes from Eldora with drivers like Kyle Larson, next stop Brownstown.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason for that.
You don't have to let off the throttle very much.
No.
If you do, it's just a split second. That was one of the things that I had to learn when I was driving, and because I grew up at some of the asphalt tracks when I was a kid. My dad and his friends were driving on, like, at Sportsdrome and some of the older tracks in Louisville that don't even exist anymore. They were racing down there, so I was watching these guys let off the throttle 3/4 of the way down the straightaway to set up for this turn, and it's totally different in dirt.
Big difference, yeah.
You don't have to let off of it at Brownstown, and it took me so long to figure that out.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, when you're in that car, it's kind of scary there for a little bit when you're learning how to do that. When you're running up to the end of that straightaway, and all you see is a turn coming up, and you're still gassing on it.
Yeah.
That's tough to do. You
It's
have to really. It is. It's very intimidating. Thankfully, Brownstown don't have walls, but
especially when you get so many cars around you that the drivers have been doing it for so long.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They're making it look pretty easy, and you're learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference between being a wheelman around a banked turn and a flat turn.
Yes.
I mean.
Oh yeah. Every track's different, and you have to.
I was taught by the two greatest, and still to this day, I've got that skill in me. Bo and Luke. They taught me very well
There you go.
every Tuesday.
Yep. I learned how to hood slide.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I think I could do that before I walked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that was basic. That was basic back in the '80s.
Yep.
Yeah.
You had to do that. You get made fun of in school if you didn't know how to.
I mean, believe it or not, there's people that can't do it. And it's all about it's all about your takeoff. Before you even touch that hood, you got to tuck that right leg under the left leg and slide on through it.
Just slide on your hip.
Yep. I can't do it anymore because they don't make solid.
Well,
steel
your hips
hoods.
aren't as good as they used to be, right?
Right. They don't make solid steel hoods anymore.
Well, we might come back to that topic, but let's get into some NASCAR stuff for now. Did you watch? You watch the Chicago race?
Watched the last little bit and the highlights, but like the last 15 laps I got to see. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think about it?
I got mixed feelings on it. I think the rain. I was pumped and excited before that morning of. I was ready. Like I said earlier in the episode, I bought a 30-pack. I had shit to put on the grill. I was just ready to rock out, and there was golf on Channel 3. I turned it over to Channel 3 at, 4:45. Golf was still on. I was like, what the hell? And I looked on NASCAR.com, and it was under rain. Well, about 10 after 5, it came on, and showed how bad the rain was and everything. So I was pretty, it was an emotional thing. I was kind of let down. I was expecting to see some good racing right away. But once the rain cleared, they got the standing water off the track. They got to it. So I wanted to see it go dry the whole time. I wanted to see them run it with slicks. I wanted to see it the NASCAR way, not the road course way with rain. And, they had the street tires on. They had the wipers on.
Yeah.
So I felt like they were going 2/3 of the speed they should be going. So I was let down by that, but the last half of the race was really entertaining. I wasn't a big fan, and every turn was a 90-degree turn. I don't like that. That's not NASCAR.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that's kind of the whole point of the
Right,
street
it's
race.
street racing. It makes them better. That's why I'm not let down by it. But I'm used to seeing. We're used to seeing passes being made at a turn.
Yeah.
It was impossible there. I would say but I will say the best move of the whole race was Corey LaJoie putting that pass on Alex Bowman early in the race.
He was just chewing all
Dude,
over Bowman for a while, wasn't he?
That was awesome. I mean, I was clapping, laughing, everything else right there at the TV over that when LaJoie did that. You know, I mean, that was a fantastic move.
Yeah.
Fantastic move.
And if you don't know, Bub, Corey LaJoie is a friend of the show. You know, we're big fans of Corey LaJoie.
And he's big fans of us.
Yeah. So you know, I'm kind of the same way. I think anybody that didn't like Chicago, it's because of the rain. It was because of the slower speeds, the silly wrecks, that unnecessary accidents. But that kind of made it entertaining.
How
I
many
think.
of them got buried under the tires?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
There was one accident that I think it was Truex. I think they were going to a commercial, watching on TV. I think they were going to commercial or something, but they had this shot and they were looking at this turn, and you could see, I think it was Ryan Blaney coming around the turn, and he was tiptoeing around the turn because it was still kind of wet track, but he made the turn and he's speeding up through the straightaway, but he looked like he was going pretty slow, right? It's because it was, like you said, 90-degree turn, and then just in the background, all you see is Martin Truex just sideways, just right into the tires.
Was that the one?
It was his second or third trip to the tires. I don't remember which one.
I remember Kyle Busch doing that too. Like he was coming wide open down that stretch, and it was just like he forgot there was even a turn on this track.
I mean, you could tell by looking at his car that he was saying, "Oh shit!" While he was in the car, he was cussing before he was halfway to the tires.
Then with Eric Jones, Grace, and both of their teammates going into the tires at the same time.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. I mean, you could tell it was just like they hit the brakes and nothing was happening, so they were all just puckered up. But yeah, it was funny because Truex, it looked like his car was already turned. So I mean, you're looking at the grill of the car as he just real fast, because it was just funny the way it was. Blaney was tiptoeing and right behind him with Truex was into the tires. But Truex and Gregson were, they go 3 times each into the tires? I think Wendy's got more TV time on Sunday.
Busch, I know, went once, maybe twice.
Mm-hmm.
And that tells you right there how tough of a track that was in them conditions, because Kyle Busch is probably one of the top 2 wheelmen on that course.
Yeah.
I mean, in that course he was probably one of the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
With him, Larson, SVG, and I'd probably say that Button. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that told NASCAR fans right there. I mean, told me, man, this course ain't nothing to play with in these conditions, because one of the greats is having trouble with it.
Yeah. I was, once the track dried off, then we could really get to see some really good racing. Right. And if we could get to run that race, no rain, it would be a pretty fun and entertaining race. Now, I'm not saying that we need 5 more on the schedule, but for that, considering it was Chicago, and like we talked about last week, there's a lot of things involved with, opinions and stuff like that, but they put on a pretty good race. Yeah. I was a naysayer. I was one that as soon as they announced it, I said, no way. This is going to suck. I don't want to watch it. I may not watch it. But as it got closer, I was kind of intrigued. I was interested. I was kind of wanting to see how it would turn out, and it turned out pretty good. Yeah. I liked it. I will say that I was wrong. I don't say that very often.
The only thing I liked about the rain, I guess you could blame it on, was I really enjoyed all the strategy talk that the crew chiefs and drivers were talking over the radio about when we're going to go to slicks. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of strategy involved in that, and they all did it around the same time.
Yeah.
But who was going to be the first one to pull the trigger? Because the track's still wet, and Dale Jarrett was sitting right there, talking as one of the commentators. He's like, I would not put slicks on that car anytime soon. It was like the next pit, this dude's putting slicks on his
Yeah,
car.
I think it was
Just like,
Chase Briscoe did it first.
yeah,
I think, if I
mean,
remember right.
In a boy, he's a will
He
man.
wasn't scared.
Yeah.
Throw him on there. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing as Dale Jarrett. I was like, no, I don't want no part of them slicks right now. If I was out there, I'd save it for another 10, 15 laps before I put them on there.
Well, Eric, you're pretty big into street racing and stuff like that. I know you've had a few cars, built a few cars and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
What was your thoughts on the Chicago race?
I thought it was pretty good. I like the tight turns were interesting to see when they would actually make a move to pass, because it made it a lot harder. Just watching, especially that SVG guy just going down under people like it was nothing
Yeah, he made
towards
it look
the end.
easy.
And
That guy impressed me. I could tell it wasn't the last caution, but it was the caution right before. It was the second to last caution. I think he was running second, and they had an in-car view of him. Just the comfort level that guy had. I mean, I could tell he was going to win.
Here's my one comment. And it was talked a little bit about during that race. For SVG to go, not just from a right side driver car full time to a left side like you do in stock car, but this guy has shifted his whole career with his left hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He races overseas. He is in them right side cars. He's gear shifting with his left hand his whole career. I mean, we're talking probably 15, 20 years of muscle memory this guy's got. And his first time in a left side driver car, he's shifting with his right hand and makes it look simple.
Yeah. I mean, we see how hard that is, because just a couple weeks ago, downshift Daniel,
Right.
Suarez couldn't handle it.
Right.
And he's supposed to be one of the best in the world. And he messed up on turn one, but this SVG just comes over here and he's like, "Yeah, I got this."
His footwork was impeccable. I mean, they were showing that on the cameras. How he was braking, shifting, using the same foot for his gas and brake, and slipping that clutch the way he was. I mean,
that's tough to do.
I mean, that's, I don't know what you call it, but I mean,
It's impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to tell you one other thing that I was most impressed about. I mean, the SVG winning the race impressed me, and everything that we just talked about was very impressive. And I think it opened a lot of eyes, and mine included, to what he can do. But what really impressed me was Justin Haley. He was out there on much older tires than the guys behind him. And let's talk about them guys behind him. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, and he's out driving them.
Yep.
On much older tires.
Yeah.
So my hat's off to Justin Haley, because he...
And he was doing it in a Chevy. I mean, I didn't
Right?
think there was any way that...
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah,
but all three behind him. That whole top 5, 6 was Chevys, wasn't they?
But the...
Bub, I got the leaderboard right here as far as race wins. You
oh
see
yeah,
that?
oh yeah.
Top right corner on the big
Seems
board.
What's
that say
lopsided
beside
right there?
There you go.
Yeah,
So
it's a bad year.
11 on Chevy, 2 on Ford.
Yeah, it's a bad year for my boys, but they'll get her. But
yeah, but he was... I mean, I think the kid was doing good, and I was impressed.
yeah, Justin Haley put on a hell of a show. He really did. His sponsors and team should be really proud of what he done.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But my honest opinion, I think if it had been a dry race from beginning to end, I don't think SVG would have won.
I think if they hadn't have shortened it 25 laps, he wouldn't have won either.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I mean, I'm not taking nothing away from him, because, I mean, it's been a long time since a driver has their first race in NASCAR has impressed me.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time it happened.
No.
So.
I mean, I remember the old days back in the early 90s, late 80s, when all we had was Watkins Glen and Sonoma on the schedule. And there would always be one or two teams that would bring in a road course ringer. Boris Said would usually be that guy.
Marcos Ambrose started out like that. Marcos Ambrose did.
Yeah. And, I mean, they did good, but they didn't win. But SVG, hats off to him. I was mixed with about, I don't know, a handful of laps to go. Because, let's not forget, SVG got around Justin Haley. Justin Haley passed him back.
Yep.
On them bad tires, but ended up giving it back to SVG. So I didn't know who I wanted to win. I wanted the little guy, with Haley to pull it out, just because of who was behind him, who was around him, and the dude was just driving that car, man. He was doing a hell of a job. But then you also got the SVG story, so I was kind of mixed. I was like,
well,
man,
I mean,
either one of them I'd have been
here,
happy.
here's where I'll go with it is a new guy comes to town and he wins on a course that he should win on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, I know we talked about it. He was in a different car, different setup. I mean, totally different situation for the guy. And I'm still not taking nothing away from him. But let's go to a half-mile oval or a super speedway. Yeah, you won on your track, on your type. Now come with the rest of us NASCAR boys to our style, and let's try that, And
I don't think it would fare out as well for him. Not at least, not for the first few.
Right.
Give him some time. I think he might be able to do something.
Right. But, I mean, if somebody, that's how I would take it. I mean, I'd be one of the drivers, be one of the first to go up and hug him and congratulate him, great job. But the next sentence out of my mouth would be, why don't you come to Atlanta next week?
Yeah.
See if you can do it again.
Right. See what you got in the pack.
Right.
Yeah. What else do you think about Chicago, Bub? Anything?
It was just, like you said, interesting to see him racing the wet track and seeing that story of SVG winning his first race on the NASCAR Cup Series and Justin Haley out driving him. I mean, that was just all impressive all around, holding them guys off. But
what happened with Justin Marks? I thought he was supposed to be taking a car.
He was out there, but he lasted about 10 laps, and then he wrecked. he chastained himself.
I was going to say, I didn't even see him out there.
No, he was in the Xfinity race.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's where it was.
Yeah, he was in the Xfinity race. He had a red, white, and blue car, kind of like the same paint scheme that Chastain has ran quite a few times. But
that's where I got confused.
I think it was a car number 10, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I watched it. And he was running right around 10th place, I think, if I remember right. He was running right around top 10, and he wiped out.
Yeah.
So that kind of disappointing, because I was kind of wanting to see him run the whole race just to see how he would do, because I'll be honest, I don't remember Justin Marks as a driver. I don't
remember ever seeing him as a driver, but I thought he was only in like some kind of street racing league or something.
Well,
like
I think he's got a lot of street racing experience, but there and again, I don't know his past. I don't know how much oval racing he's done. I don't know how much street racing he's done, or how successful he was. They say he's pretty good on the street.
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of wanting to see it, but it didn't pan out. He chastained himself. Hopefully Ross has a talk with him. Straightens him out a little bit. Maybe Big Rick will have a talk with him. I don't know, but
he'll listen to Rick.
Oh, he'll listen to Rick. He'll straighten up real quick when Rick starts talking. But that was my take on Chicago. I would, like I said, I was a naysayer. I wouldn't mind seeing it again, though. I was wrong.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's say, I wouldn't mind seeing it be an annual thing every year, having a street race, but would you rather see them do Chicago every year or go from city to city to city?
Well, I've kind of thought that. I've been tossing that around to myself.
Tour,
Yeah, maybe Chicago one year, then maybe LA another year, or New York, or Indianapolis, or maybe a Dallas, Texas, something like that. Just might as well. We go around the square, go around the back lot, go around McDonald's or something, like the old days. That bump going into McDonald's might be a little tricky for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Yeah. I mean, Chicago put on a pretty good show. They had some good roads for it. They had a good course laid out for it.
Seemed like the fans really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
A friend of ours in our NASCAR league was there, and
Jason A. Yeah.
He seemed to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like, I guess he was sitting in the Bubba Wallace fan club section.
He might have been right there by HR.
He probably was, but when
I'd say HR was probably in the garage with Bubba.
Yeah, that's his motivational speaker.
Oh yeah.
Them two's like piece of carrots.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So.
But you don't know too much about the HR and the Bubba saga, do you?
I've heard about it. Seems a
The
big,
stories are
big
true.
fan.
I mean, the stories are true.
Mhm.
We can verify that they are true.
Yeah.
I've tried to get Bubba to call in and comment on their friendship and everything like that, but I know he's busy.
He might do that in the off season.
Yeah,
You might just be able to go over to HR's and
but I mean,
catch Bubba over there on an off day.
honestly, I mean, I don't know if it's busy or if he's just pissed that we give his bestie, his BFF, such a hard time. You know,
It could be either or. You never know. I know HR gets fussy when we give him a hard time about it. Quit making fun of me and Bubba.
we got matching
Quit it.
Dr. Pepper tattoos.
I'll tell Mom. Oh, but yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them go from maybe city to city, kind of try it out here, try it out there, and see how it goes.
Yeah.
It'd be all right.
I mean, one cool thing about Chicago was too, which I didn't know it till the race started, but there was 3 different track services, on that course, and I thought that made it made for a funner race.
Yeah.
Because most tracks are one type of surface. You got asphalt, you got concrete, but
You got
they're usually
blacktop.
you got dirt. I mean, it's
Got the cinders, got the gravel.
right.
Yeah.
So, you had new asphalt, old asphalt, and concrete
Yeah,
all on this Chicago course.
Potholes.
Right. I mean, to me it makes that's where the open mindedness of a NASCAR fan comes into it. Is we want to see the best drivers in the world in this series. We want the best show possible. That's how you become the best driver in the world, is driving every kind of race, whether it's dirt, asphalt, concrete, street, road course,
Left turn,
ovals.
right turn.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's how you become the best. And having these different type of track surfaces kind of mixed it up a little bit. Even the white paint for the crossing sections on the road when the road is open, they said that white paint on them strips was so much slicker than asphalt that you're coming right off of.
Yep.
So you had to be careful on where to hit that at.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That could affect your braking or your throttling, whether you're coming in or going out of the turn. Yeah. Everything. I mean, there's so many little things that you have to take into consideration for those races. It just makes it so interesting. But we tried it. I think it went pretty good.
Yeah,
So,
I won't complain.
No. So that's Chicago. I gave it a thumbs up. Let's look at Atlanta. Coming up on Atlanta. Hotlanta.
Yep. Here we go again.
Here we go again. What do you know about Atlanta, bub? The Atlanta track.
I know
Have you seen
Ford
an
won
Atlanta
it
race?
last time, but Chevy won it quite a bit before that.
Well, last year, the last race there was the first race on the new Atlanta. They had redone the track. It used to be just your normal banking and everything like that, but when they revamped, it's now the world's smallest super speedway.
Yeah.
You know,
It's always been NASCAR's fastest track. Which
average
is weird.
Speed.
Yes.
Average speed, yeah.
Yeah, average speed.
But with that banking that it has now, it's got like the same banking Talladega has, like 33-degree bank or something crazy like that
Yeah, it's
on
crazy.
a short track, and so I mean these cars are going around this short track just like this, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and they repaved it, so now it's pack racing, just like Daytona and Talladega. It used to not be that way. The cars used to be able to spread out, but now, being this spring, they are now pack racing on a much tighter track. It's not as wide as Talladega or Daytona, so which is one of the big differences. But
Well, and on these in-car cameras at Atlanta, if you watch them in Atlanta and you watch the in-car cameras at Talladega, and for those people listening, I'm holding my arms up like I got a steering wheel right now. But at Talladega, you're doing this half the time, and the other half the time you're doing this. And those in-car cameras at Atlanta, you're doing this.
yeah,
It's almost like the whole time. because that track is so short and the banks are so steep that you're always got your hands at, like almost 7 and 2, something
Right.
like that.
Mm-hmm. That centrifugal force that you're fighting is crazy. But here we go again. We did it in the spring, and it was entertaining. You just got to stay out of trouble. It's just like I said, it's a super speedway now, so you got to stay out of trouble.
And I have a lot different temperatures there this time than we had last time too.
Yep. Track's gonna be much hotter. It's gonna be much hotter in them cars. You're gonna have driver fatigue, tire wear. So you might think you have your strategy, but you gotta.
Track temperature could change it for you.
Yeah.
Change your strategy.
Yeah. What are you expecting to see? Or you think the Toyotas are going to be fastest? Fords, Chevy?
Well, I mean,
I've got my answer for that.
I mean, I'd say it's going to be Chevy.
I think a Chevy's going to win. I don't think might not necessarily be the fastest
cars
throughout the day.
You're not going to see. I think in the top 10 you'll see more Fords than you will Chevys.
Yeah, I think Fords are going to be the fastest.
Because they're going to
group.
Because they train race better together. I feel like.
Yeah.
Than the Chevys and the Toyotas, but I hope to see a Ford win, but we'll see.
I think the Toyotas are going to be fast. I'm not overlooking the Toyotas. I think the Fords are going to be the fastest groups out there. I think Toyotas will probably be the second fastest group, but in the end, I think you're going to see a Chevy win it. That's just what I think. I'm picking a Chevy. Fantasy, I'm picking a Chevy. I haven't told anybody who I'm going to pick yet.
You haven't even told me yet.
No, I haven't even
you
told you yet.
You doubling down? Just tell me that.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Only because HR thinks I am. I'm playing chess with HR right now. And I know it's pissing him off, but I do think a Chevy's going to end up winning it, but I think that every week, so you never know. It would not surprise me if a Chevy wins it, a Ford wins it, or a Toyota, because they all got fast. It's a super speedway, so,
Yeah. This is going to be, who's going to make it? I think it's going to come down to pit strategy. 100%. Not anything else more than pit strategy. Because we all know how this works. The Chevys, the Toyotas, and the Fords, they all pit with their manufacturers.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do in these situations. So, I'm not going to say it's going to come down to who decides to go to the pits first.
That's loud.
I don't think it's going to come down to who pulls the trigger first on hitting the pits, because that could all change with an extra caution.
Yeah.
So I think it's impossible to say who's going to win this thing because of that situation.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks that you can throw a dart at the wall and anybody could win it. So it's going to be entertaining, that's for sure. It's going to be Atlanta's always a fun race to watch.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. That'd be a good one to go to. I'd like to go there.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think Atlanta is probably towards the top of my bucket list of tracks to go see.
Yeah. The city is not. About 3 weeks ago, coming back from Florida, I hit Atlanta at 8:04 p.m. on a Saturday night, driving through.
That's probably better than 5 p.m. on a Thursday or something.
True.
It's better than rush hour, but
it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
My number one pet peeve in the world is bad drivers, and I'm not going to say it was full of them, but
it's Atlanta.
They had their share of them.
Oh yeah.
And it was sit still traffic. I mean, 8 lanes going each direction, and it was a. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've drove through Atlanta rush hour one time. I swore I'd never do it again. It's hell on earth, Rush hour in Atlanta is just ridiculous. So every time we have to go through Atlanta, we try to hit it before or after rush hour,
Eric, hurry up and buy a helicopter. Three of us could just take his helicopter down there.
Yeah,
not have to worry about any
nice.
of that shit.
Yeah. Just skip the whole traffic part altogether.
Slide right in the infield.
Yeah. So you need to get on that, bub.
Yeah.
Start.
Come on, get your act together.
Yeah.
We know you got the money. It's just not. So what have you been up to, bub? Have you ever drove through Atlanta rush hour or Atlanta?
I drove through Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because we went down to Atlanta Speedway for a car meet, but I just didn't know. I wasn't in the NASCAR at the time.
Yeah.
I wish I knew more and cherished the moment a little more. Because
Mm-hmm.
I was in the infield of the track, but you know, it was cool. But I wasn't so into it at the time, so I didn't really take it in. But that was also before I think they redid anything. It was quite a while ago, but
Oh yeah. Yeah, they just redid it like last year,
yeah.
2 years ago.
But yeah.
Kind of like going to Graceland and learning about Elvis. You
Yeah,
know? I mean, it's
exactly.
the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's.
Yeah.
But it's cool you got to see it. You know,
Yeah.
and it was before it got revamped too.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's.
Yeah. We got some static issue. I'm trying to work through that, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of annoying right now. But bear with us. I did see Atlanta Speedway one time. I accidentally drove past it. I wasn't planning to. I didn't know it was on the route. It was a couple years ago. Me and my wife went down that way. We just sightseeing stuff, and there was quite a few things. I'll tell you one thing that we were going to go see was the Dukes of Hazzard filming locations, and we got to see the original Boar's Nest.
Yeah.
Still there, but on our way to that, I think we seen some Walking Dead filming locations, and when we were right in the town of Walking Dead, that was really cool. But on our way to that, we were kind of on the outskirts of Atlanta, and just happened we coming out of this highway, coming out of the trees, and right there to the left was the back stretch of Atlanta Motor Speedway, and I was like, "Holy shit! Right there it is!
Yeah.
Look at that!"
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. But yeah, never actually been to the track, just accidentally saw
Well,
it.
and that's kind of I've got a track story like that too. I used to travel from home to Mexico like every month for work. I had to fly down there. It seemed like every month. And the first time I was coming back from Mexico back into Dallas Fort Worth, we flew over, and we were on the decline, on the airplane, but flew right over Texas Motor Speedway. I just happened to look down out the window, and I seen the big painting on the infield, the Texas Motor Speedway and everything like that. And I was like, holy shit, I mean, I'm right over Texas Motor Speedway. Where's the parachutes at?
Right.
It was really cool. So then every time I'd come back from Mexico, I'd always make sure to look down there and check it out. But,
Yeah, that's cool. So, Bub's getting into some racing.
yeah,
You wanna talk
he's
about
been
that?
doing some iRacing.
iRacing, yeah, it's pretty
He's-
fun.
He's taken that venture into the iRacing world. I have not. I tried it out over at his house a time or two. It was very tough, very tricky.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything like a real car?
No.
No?
I don't think. I mean, but I'm not used to it, so
There's
But
some cars they say it's pretty realistic. There's some cars they say it's nothing like it. It's kind of hit or miss, but
yeah.
I've done some of the asphalt racing, but I've mostly done dirt because it's just a lot more funner to slide around the corners and not have to,
Yep.
take the turns all slow. And I just prefer it personally on it, but it's really fun. Getting faster and faster on each track because they have the same track all week on each series.
Mhm.
So you have kind of all week to kind of like get it down and get better at it.
So does it work? Does it work like the real racing sport? Like, hey, the race is Sunday at 3:00. Everybody log on.
There's some series that they'll have one race every like 2 or 3 days or once a week. That'll be like a big like 75 lap race. For that, it's pretty big because compared to the normal races. But all the others are like every hour they'll have a race, and so they'll be staggered. So one's at like 10:30, one's at 11. So if you get done with the 11 race, you can get an 11:30 race, and then the 12 race for the series you did before that. And
That sounds
pretty
pretty cool. Sounds
Yeah.
like I'd have to quit my job.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I would-
if
I would
I
be
had
s-
one. But
I'd be
Yeah.
I'd be spending a lot of time on it.
It's
if I had it.
addicting. It's really fun. I'm trying to get on there any chance I get, but
Mom, meatloaf. Where's my
Hurry
meatloaf? Race is about over.
Yeah, I could definitely see myself spending a lot of hours on it if I had one.
oh yeah.
I may have it in the future. I don't know, but
Well, you remember, I mean, when we was teenagers, we was going to River Falls Mall every
Oh,
chance we could. because
Daytona,
they had
USA.
Daytona, USA, the 4 sit downs.
Oh, heck yeah.
Mhm.
And me, you, and Scott was on them all the time.
Yep. That's most of our week right there.
Yeah, we'd spend
Mhm.
a paycheck up there.
Yep, pretty
And-
much.
And but I mean, it was limited. You only had 3 tracks, But of course, being the Earnhardt fan,
Yeah.
he was always car number 3. I was
Mhm.
a Rusty Wallace fan, car number 2. Scott, I don't know, he'd go between 1 and 4, whichever one was open.
Yeah.
They didn't have a number 23.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but it's been a lot of fun learning each car. There's still some cars I can't get around the track, like the super late model. I can get it around the track now, but it's really hard to hold my line on a super late model. I mean,
Is it touchy?
oh yeah,
it's a lot of horsepower.
oh yeah. You definitely got to have a lot of throttle control, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun, especially in the ones I've got down, like the 358 modifieds are a blast because I can hold any line I want, put it wherever I want. It's a blast driving those, but.
And you got a big race coming up too, don't you?
Yeah, there's like a charity race on the 30th of this month that I'm going to be in. Live streaming it. It'll be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
On
yeah.
YouTube,
On Twitch, yeah.
on Twitch.
Yeah.
You're live streaming or the race? is
No,
being
the
live?
race,
Okay.
people are organized it, so it'll be
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
And yeah, so you'll be able to watch him live as it's going on.
Mhm.
Sponsored by ridingthewall.com.
Yep, I'll have the
Absolutely.
logo right there on the side.
There it is.
And
Need
a
to
spoiler.
put it on the back so everybody sees
Yeah,
it.
I have it on the spoiler, the URL to the website, so.
You don't want it on the front because then only the TV cameras see it.
Yeah,
Just put it on the back so the other 30 people racing will see it.
that's
That's
right.
right. Got it all around that car. Everybody's gonna see
Hell
that thing.
Yep.
And I've been asking him questions about this because I'm interested in learning that side of it too. But apparently, you can win some money on this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some big. They just did a $6,000 race a couple weeks ago, and
Really?
it was either super late models or pro late models. But either way, it was a really good race too. Like the best of the best come out and they run top 3, and it was interesting all the way up to the last lap because and there's some drama with it because one of the teammates of the first place guy kind of slid up into the front of the second place as the lapped car, and so that created a whole controversy for a week. Everyone was talking about.
They were talking about maybe he was blocking for him.
Yeah,
or-
because that guy in second was catching him, and it was good.
Ah.
So
Well,
they have
I mean-
good racing on that. Like
I
it's
mean,
fun to watch.
That's what you expect from a teammate. Be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, you're out there. You're not out there for fun. You are, but you're out there to pay some bills too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, yeah, that iRacing, I've been kind of
Did-
watching that a little
Does
bit.
Did it cost anything to get in that $6,000 race, like an entry fee,
Uh,
or is
probably.
it something
I'm not-
sponsors paid up?
I'm not really sure. I just know it's like probably the top 30 drivers.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they had to pay anything, but
And so explain the levels, because I'm learning this. So I'm
Yeah,
from
me
you.
too.
I've heard a little bit about it, but Justin,
yeah.
he doesn't know as much as we do about it, and way more than I do, obviously. So I'm kind of learning, and he's learning too. But explain how the levels work, how
The
you work your way
classes.
up. Yeah.
So they got a safety rating. So as long as you don't hit the wall, spin out, hit other cars, you'll gain safety rating every race. So when you start off, you can only race the street stocks, and as you get as safer driver, you get up to like a D class from a rookie, and you unlock like the late models, the 358 modifieds. You get up to C class, you unlock like the big block modifieds, and the C class races they actually start doing the heat races and the consies and all that. So
Right on. So basically, if you
So-
go out there and you terrorize people
Yeah.
when you log on to this thing and start iRacing, you go out there and terrorize people just being a dick. You're not going to get anywhere.
Right. You're going to stay in that bottom level with
Right.
other terrorizers.
Right.
That are just beating the tar out of people that
Right.
aren't taking it serious. But the guys that are taking it serious can
Get
stay
advanced.
clean,
Get
and they can
advanced.
move up and get away from those kind of people, and they can
Mhm.
actually get into the races where people are there to race and have fun. So
Yeah.
that makes it good that not just any Yahoo online
And
can just
I've
get you a
been
race.
looking on Marketplace and stuff like that at some of these sim rigs, they
Yeah.
call them.
Mhm.
And now yours got like the 3 screens, or you got the one?
no, I just got the one for now mounted to my desk, the steering wheel mounted on there, but
Some of them look like a cockpit of a fighter jet.
Yeah,
It's
they'll
pretty
have, like,
awesome. I mean, it's
3
a-
screens that are curved around you, like you
Yeah.
can see everything, like It's pretty cool.
That'd be pretty badass.
That would be pretty
I would,
cool
I
with
would
a
have,
racing seat and all that stuff.
like I would have a room in my house with my rig right in the middle of the room, and that's how it'd be. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Turn the lights off and just
I'm gonna
yeah,
go
run
out there
it.
as far as to say I'd probably wear a helmet while I was doing this thing.
I know you would. It'd be orange too, wouldn't it?
Good chance. But I mean, I've done it in weirder situations. So
That's a fact.
Yeah, but it's a blast, and even just the one screen, I mean, it's still fun. I can't even see people on my right or left side of my screen, but kind of makes you a little better at judging where they are without seeing them. But definitely better when you can see everything going on. But
Yeah, I think it'd be cool, you
Yeah.
know, to get one of them. I'd waste a day or two just
Yeah.
racing, or a week. You know.
absolutely.
Um,
I mean, it'd be great for rainy days. You know.
oh
what I mean?
yeah,
yeah,
and yeah, you might even win a little money while you're just
Yeah.
having fun. you
they
know.
have a lot of small payout ones just on Facebook groups and stuff. Like, 20. There's $100 race I think this weekend, but there's all kinds of like where they just have everyone kind of pitch in like $5-10 to buy into the race and they pay it out. But
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It'd be
Absolutely.
real cool.
Yeah. Do you build your own car? Do you just get a standard car they give you? How does
well,
that work?
there's they have like the fixed series cars where they have like the default setup for the track that iRacing provides, so everyone's on the same playing field. And there's open class ones where you can customize like everything to do with your suspension and chassis and stuff like that. And so that's the more competitive series. But
Can you pick a Ford Maverick?
I don't think so. But
Those cars are elite. That's the elite level.
Okay, I got you. So you have to get to the top.
Yes,
Like,
you got to be A+ rated.
you got to be a pro for that.
okay.
Yeah. I bet there's probably maybe 3 listeners that might know what a Ford Maverick is. A 1975
Well, we know
Ford
Scott
Maverick.
knows
Look
what
it
it
up.
is.
Oh yeah, you know
Yeah.
he knows. So many stories that we could tell about Ford Maverick. I blew a tire when I had some bad tires on it, and I blew a tire going home one night. Still handled like a dream right after I blew a tire. I was on 3, just driving down the highway at 60 miles an hour, smooth as silk. It's the best Ford I've ever drove.
Guaranteed.
I gotta say that.
Yeah.
Bird shit white, the baby shit brown interior.
There you go.
Standard.
You couldn't tell where the bird shit on it.
No, you
You
couldn't.
couldn't. Yeah, I mean, you parked it under trees every day that you own that car.
Still couldn't.
And you couldn't tell it had a drop of bird shit on it.
No, you couldn't. But it'll lay a black mark a mile long.
Yeah.
But yeah, the iRacing's pretty cool. I mean, I'm definitely looking into that. I
Oh, yeah.
might. I'd love to have one someday. So, be pretty.
So
cool.
how'd you come across your sim rig? Did you just
I-
order it online?
I've got a guy on Facebook Marketplace.
Gotcha.
I think he just used it for like Forza Horizon on Xbox or something because it's all perfect. And I got it for $150. They normally go for like $300 on Amazon, so it's a good deal with the shifter and everything. So
That's steering wheel, shifter, and pedals.
yeah,
So what'd you do for a seat?
I got my just computer chair,
Okay.
but it's more of like kind of like a driver's style seat, just because that's
Gaming
what all
chair?
gaming chairs
Yeah,
kind of look
my
like
kid-
nowadays.
Two of my kids have them too, where they
Yeah.
kind of got the flares right
It's
here.
kind of like that. I mean, it could definitely be better if I was in like a rig that wouldn't move around. Because right now I'm in a chair with wheels and a desk that kind of gets thrown around.
See, that's the rigs I've been seeing that these
Yeah.
guys want like $3,500 for, where you actually get into
Yeah.
it's a racing seat.
Yeah,
mounted,
it's
this
built
far
under
off
the seat.
floor. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's I mean, I need to go a little further than that. I need a car door on this side that I can climb
Need
in the
some roll
window.
bars.
I've seen,
Right.
yeah.
And I need to be able to climb in that window to get down in that seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And put my
Yeah.
steering wheel
Get the
on,
full effect.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
hit the start button,
Yep.
have the crew chief spotter in my ear,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
I could do that for you. I could be your spotter.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Just
That'd
sit
be cool.
behind.
I've
Yeah.
seen people spot for other people, like third party, just spotting for each other's friends.
Really?
So you could do that.
I was just
yeah.
joking around, but hell,
Yeah,
maybe there really are
People
spotters.
do that, yeah. They'll just come spectate the race and spot for you. It's
Oh,
better
yeah.
than the guy in the game who, screws you over half the
Oh,
time,
yeah, he
telling
was-
you high is clear, and then you go up high and you hit somebody. But
Yeah, that guy kept telling me I hit the wall. I had car damage. I couldn't keep the car straight. I'd hit the gas and it'd just spin out. I'd hit the
Yeah.
wall.
yeah,
It was crazy. I was in like What was that? A bomber?
Yeah.
Pure stock, something like
Yeah,
that.
street stock. That's
Yeah.
what it's called on there.
It was crazy, but it was fun. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like we might have to dig into that a little bit.
Yeah. That might be some good wintertime racing right
It'd
there.
be fun to get all three of us in the same race and like go against each other. That'd be
I
fun.
think we'd finish 1, 2, 3.
Guarantee it.
I don't know the order, but we'll work that out through
Yeah.
the race. But
Yeah.
we'd finish
We'll have
top
to
3.
negotiate that on the track. But.
Yeah. Yep. Well, let's talk about some of this fantasy. You want to? Well, hold on. One more thing. One more thing before we get into fantasy. Let's look at these points. The question of the week. Can Chase Elliott make it into the playoffs without winning a race? I got him wrote down right here. He's in 24th spot right now. He's got to make it to 16th. And he's 55 points out. With, 8 races to go?
I say he can. Just like last week. He will, because not so much because of his efforts, but he'll have some good efforts. But it's going to be more of the people above him falling off.
What do you think, Bub? You want to take a stab at this one?
I think the same thing he said, like McDowell and
Dinger, Suarez.
Yeah, I think they're gonna fall.
Suarez is on the way down. I think last time we did this, Suarez was making the cut, but Gibbs was not.
Gibbs
Now
I pulled out good on him.
Yeah, he did really good. I was watching him. I said, son of a gun, Justin's gonna make he's gonna make a bold prediction come true.
If I was in there, because he usually finishes top 15, top 20 pretty regularly. Not every time, but wouldn't have been a bad pick.
I think Chase Elliott will make it. If he don't win, I think he'll make it on points. Here's another one for you. Will Bubba Wallace stay above the cut line?
No.
By the time the playoffs get here without making it a win? No.
It wouldn't. I'll be honest. It wouldn't surprise me to see him win Atlanta. It wouldn't surprise me a bit.
No, because we got Atlanta and we have Daytona before the playoffs.
I think his chances are better at Atlanta than Daytona. But
now, were we at Atlanta last time when him and Blaney got mixed up? They were fighting for the win, and
right.
Bubba was blocking.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking it might have been Atlanta when that happened.
But if Wallace gets in on a win, I think it'll be at Atlanta. If he don't get in on a win, he won't be in at all.
What do you think, Bub? You think Bubba can do it?
It's going to be tough, but if he does good at Atlanta,
he's in a Toyota.
Has a good chance. Well, ain't a whole lot wrong with Toyota, in my opinion, but
we're gonna have to ask
just for the listeners. Eric has a Toyota in the garage, and it's I will say it wasn't 100% when you took me for a ride. It still had some work to do, but the damn thing was freaking fast.
Yeah.
You want to tell them what you got?
Yeah, it's a 1988 Toyota Supra. It's got an inline 6 twin turbo. It's called a 1JZ for those who know what that is, but it's fast.
I know Jay-Z.
Yeah. He's a friend of the show.
There's only one Jay-Z.
Yeah, he calls in from time to time.
Right.
Yeah.
His wife and my lady hang out all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Go shoe shopping together?
Not sure what they do together.
Just hang out at the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have tickle fights.
That's cool.
You know.
Pillow fights?
Tickle.
Tickle. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
strip down their bra and panties, have tickle fights like all girls do.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean,
does that piss you off?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm alright with it.
Alright. Well, as long as it don't make you mad.
Me and Jay sit out on the porch, do our thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's all good.
I understand. But yeah.
But yeah, one Jay-Z in his garage.
Yeah.
He's got the motor pulled out
Is it a right side driver or left side?
It's left side, yeah.
Because
the engine though was
the engine came out of a right-hand drive car, and we had to beat the firewall just to get the back turbo to sit in there. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
It was tight.
Yeah.
It was tight.
So what's your plans with the car?
Right now it's just.
I mean, kids come along and everything. We know.
Yeah,
we know
slow
how
down.
That works. Yeah.
But just want to get it cleaned up and looking nice because it's still just a paint job from 1988. The engine bay is all dirty. Just want to get it pulled out, or got the engine pulled out, and then I'm gonna clean it up, paint it, make it look nice, and
You want
Hopefully.
to flip it and make some money? You want to take it out and street race it? What do you think?
We'll have to see how much it's worth, but definitely want to get my fun out of it first.
Absolutely.
If I ever do that,
Do that.
but
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's a fast car. I will say
I just
that.
haven't gotten it to be very reliable because I had to redo a lot of the engine harness and stuff, and I wasn't very good at wiring.
I hate
But I've learned a
electrical.
lot since then. But we'll have to see.
I'm not good
Yeah.
at electrical at all.
Yeah.
At all.
He gets that thing together, you're going to have to go for a ride.
Yeah.
Because I've had a few cars that will throw you back in the seat. And it wasn't even my car, but that was probably one of the fastest cars I've ever been in.
Yeah?
Yeah. And it wasn't 100%, so.
Faster than a Maverick. Yeah, I'm assuming yours
Top
is
speed?
yours is a 5-speed. I'm
5-speed,
assuming, and Maverick was an
The
automatic.
Maverick was an automatic.
So, who had a better top out speed?
Top out speed, that Maverick was up there.
Yeah.
I mean, get up and go.
He
the
never
Supra
got to,
had.
he never got to ride the Maverick, did he?
No.
No.
The Maverick wasn't twin turbo. This Supra is twin turbo. The Maverick was just inline 6. You couldn't kill that motor.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
It was a beast. I mean, you almost put it in the lake,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah. Right.
But
That's what I
yeah,
did.
it was a good car. But that Supra's it's a pretty good car.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this fantasy stuff. Let's make that clear. I see the look on your face over there.
I'm always down for a good fantasy. So
Nobody picked a winner.
Now I will tell you, on my way to town today, I called Mom just to see how she'd been doing and everything like that.
How has Mom been doing?
She'd been doing good.
That's the important part.
Yeah. Her and stepdad was sitting there in the living room watching the news. You know, just too hot to be out doing anything.
Oh yeah,
so
I know that.
they was just chilling out.
Well, hi Mom.
And
Hi Stepdad.
she told me, she said, because I told her I was coming up so we could do this podcast, and Eric was going to be on it this week, and she said, well, you tell Chad to be nice to me. I'm in front of all three of you. Talking about me, you, and HR.
Now, you remember when we both sat here, and Mama Lou was down here about 22nd, 23rd spot. She has done nothing. And I said, when she was down there, I said, I would not count her out because Mama Lou, if there's one person on this board that is capable of going to the top from the bottom, it's Mama Lou.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, she just threw it out there. She said, you tell Chad he better be nice to me. She said, I'm in front of all three of you.
We love Mama Lou.
Absolutely.
We can't say a bad word about her. Even if she still is fussy about them reindeer.
Yeah.
But I've got some inside scoop on that reindeer
Did you
stuff.
find out who it was?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it on the air because I just can't say it right now, but
Right.
I do know who it was.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Mama Lou is above us all.
We might have to
Kicking
save
our
that for the last episode of this NASCAR season.
We might save that for Christmas time when the reindeer are back out
Yeah.
at Mama Lou's house.
I don't think she's ever put them back out. I think it traumatized her that much.
I don't blame her. Them reindeer were doing bad things in that front yard. And the whole neighborhood saw it too. And whoever did that should be ashamed of themselves, just to let you know.
They absolutely should be.
For you out there who did that, you know who you
And
are.
if you let anybody else take the blame for it, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Exactly. That's just... But anyway, Mama Lou is climbing that ladder.
Yeah.
She is...
7th.
She's up 1 from last week. She's up to 7th. And she is one good race from probably
4th.
4th, 5th, something like that. Watch out, boys, in the top 5. Here she comes. Hunter. Hunter's still in 3rd spot.
Yep.
Have you heard from him this week?
Only with his pick. He's silent. Radio silence.
It's 6:30. Can we talk about picks yet?
Oh yeah. This won't be. This
won't be
published.
posted till after 7 or 7 o'clock. But
Right.
so who did Hunter? Well, hold on. Let me give you my pick
Yeah.
before you give me
It's like
Hunter's
his-
pick, so that way we're fair and we're legal. I don't
You
want
got
any
your
inside
marker
scoop.
in here. We'll just go ahead and we'll knock them all out right here together.
You got them all except mine?
Everybody's not. I mean, we'll go ahead and.
Well, you know I've
it's-
always got my marker handy.
Right. It's 6:24. So I mean, you know,
Let me
I'll
get the
be
big
here.
board
I'll be
down
here till 7. So if anybody turns theirs in.
Well, you know
So-
Earl's going right at 7.
Right. Or Sonya.
He better let Sonya pick this
Yeah.
week. I mean, he did pretty good last week. I mean, I can't. And get this now. He told me, now this is his story. He told me he almost picked SVG. I don't know. Earl is a bullshitter.
I almost hit the lottery last week too.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not funny.
Just a couple numbers off.
It's just 5 numbers off. I mean,
All right, well, my pick. Now we're at Atlanta.
Yep.
So who is the hometown boy?
In Atlanta,
The hometown boy, and he
Chase
needs
Elliott.
a win to get in the playoffs.
Chase Elliott.
That's who I'm going with for that reason. Hometown boy.
You gonna do it, huh?
Yep, I haven't used him yet this year.
I like that pick.
And HR thinks I'm going with Corey LaJoy. So I am going with Chase Elliott, and I'm writing it down right there. It's official. It's on the big board for everybody to see, bub. You see it?
Yep.
Okay.
It's
So
there.
that way we got witnesses.
Now, I will tell you, I turned my pick on.
I'm going to go ahead and write yours
I
down.
turned my pick in on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And this whole week, HR, in a group message with me and you saying he's going to pass both of us, Or, I mean, he's in front of you. But
yeah, he's still in front
he's
of me.
going to pass me this weekend. He's like, that's fine, because he said he was going to pass me at Chicago. I said, no, you won't. You took Dinger and I got Gibbs. You ain't going to pass me.
Right.
So he knew he was, though. He said, that's all right, I'll get you next weekend. Count on it. So I turned my pick in on Tuesday evening.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, Keselowski.
Yep. Driving a Ford. Probably one of the faster Fords out there.
And he's probably the best train driver out there.
Yeah. He's definitely probably the best super speedway Ford out there.
Yeah. So he texted me sometime Tuesday night. He said, you send your pick in yet? I said, yeah. He said, okay, here's who I want. Number 6, Keselowski.
That's who HR picked?
And I just said a laughing face back. He said, what? I said, well, you said you was going to pass me this week. That's who I took.
Mm-hmm.
He said, WTF. I said, it's all right. I said, you still got till Thursday to change your driver if you want.
Yeah.
He said, nope, that's who I'm staying with. I'll pass you next week.
Hmm.
I said, all right.
He thinks he's going to pass you at New Hampshire, huh?
Yep.
Well, so for all the listeners, you can go to ridingthewall.com and get these standings as they, right shortly after the race. Cause,
Thanks to Eric.
yeah, thanks to Eric. He's our internet guru here. He's our electronics guy. He has got us set up. So shortly after the race, you can go on and see the updated standings.
Yeah.
Scott HR is 4 points behind you, and he is, trying to do math here, 14 points ahead of me. 2 spots. Got Earl in between us.
Earl sandwich.
Yep. So I went with the 9. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I don't know. I really, and this is nothing against Corey LaJoy, because I really wanted to pick Corey LaJoy,
Well,
but I know HR thinks I'm going to,
it's
so
probably
I'm
a good thing you
playing
did.
chess. I think I got a lot of them, didn't I? Yeah, no,
So,
it worked.
let's
It
go
worked.
with Riggs.
I seen Riggs. He put his out there in the wrong
Yeah,
text.
number 7.
Yep. I got him wrote down.
Jason A. Give me number 7.
Uh-huh. See,
There
I
you
sold
go.
Corey LaJoy to everybody. He might win it. I mean,
Joe. 47.
that's what I was going to talk to you about. Have you seen the paint schemes for these cars?
I have not.
Recce Spinhouse in the 47 car has a Slim Jim car. I don't know if Macho Man is on the hood. If Macho Man is on the hood, I don't know why they're even going to run the race.
Right. It's over with.
Yeah, but I did see
Because
just
what rises to the top?
the cream.
Exactly.
Cream of the crop. Who is the cream of the crop? Macho Man, I was looking at the paint schemes, and I hardly ever look at paint schemes before a race. And sometimes, a couple times that's bit me. But about an hour before we got on here, I was looking at the paint schemes, and I seen that, and I was like, oh. I was already set with Chase Elliott.
Well, I'll
but
tell you this. I had a long drive to Florida and a long drive back.
how many Slim Jims you eat?
That's where the story's going.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
day or two before we head out, Lisa says, I'm going to go to the store and get some snacks and stuff and drinks.
So she packs the snack bags for the trip?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what Jess does too.
So she's like, it wouldn't do any good for me to.
No.
You know, she wouldn't be happy.
She'd have
30
one
miles
snack.
up the road, she'd be upset.
Bush Light and Slim Jim.
Right. So
that's how it is to be a dad, but
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
let you know.
That's what she says. She's like, I'm going to go to the store and get some snacks and drinks so we don't have to stop every time we want something to eat and drink.
Mm-hmm.
I said, all right. She said, what do you want? I said, yellow Red Bulls and a box of Slim Jims. Whole box.
Now, are you going with normal size Slim Jims? Or are you going with the extra big?
Normal size.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't want to overdo it, you know.
Well, can you overdo it on Slim Jims?
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the real big fat Slim Jims. You know what I mean? It just
I got to be in the mood for one of them.
Right.
You know.
Just because, you know, it's like you don't want them to fill you up. You just want them to carry you through.
Yeah.
You know, and I can eat one and be satisfied and still not feel full.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome, you know. I mean, it's like you can eat one, still go whip somebody's ass and not feel exhausted.
Of course.
So that's why I like them.
Right.
But it also, I mean, have you ever? I know you have, but for anybody else listening, have you ever driven down the road in traffic, you know, zooming in and out, eating a Slim Jim at the same time?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a life-altering experience.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like, how's this even happening right now?
Right.
It's like I was hovering above the car watching me do it. You know, it's
You could
awesome.
see the holes before they opened up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So.
Have you ever ate a Slim Jim while you're having sex?
Twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure I wasn't the only one that did that.
I won't tell you where I put it when I had to sit it down for a second.
Well, we don't want to know. We don't want to know. I was just making sure I wasn't the weird one here.
Right. Hold this.
This is your future, bub.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't already, you know. Eric has 2 kids, by the way. I just want to go ahead and make that put that out there for the listeners.
Yeah. So.
All right, what else we got here?
Did you already put your car number down?
Yep.
Okay. So you got Joe for Spin House, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mama Lou,
This is gonna be a good one.
number 12.
That is a good
That'd have been
pick.
my pick if I was.
That's a damn good pick.
Okay. Mama Jess,
Mm-hmm.
number 7.
She took my LaJoy.
LaJoy toy.
That is her LaJoy toy right there.
Yeah. Jerry,
Okay.
number 6.
Okay.
Mofat.
Mofat fell 4 spots.
Yeah, he did.
So this needs to be a good pick for Mofat.
Number 54. Ty Gibbs. I don't think
That's not a good pick for
I
Mofat.
think he might
I
fall
think,
4 more.
Yeah.
But you never know.
I mean, Riggs right behind him with the LaJoy. He's only 1 point behind him.
Yeah. I'd say he's going to pass him.
Good luck, Mofat.
Chris. Number 7.
Chris is 4th, and he went up 1 spot. He is 14 points behind Chris.
Yep.
Hold on. Yeah. No. I was looking at Sam. I'm sorry. I'm mixed up here. I was looking at Sam. So Chris is 14 points above Sam.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 LaJoy picks.
That's not all.
Oh, I know.
So-
I knew everybody was going to take LaJoy after I did it in
Yeah.
spring. They said this guy knows what's going on.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're that first guy that came out of the closet, you know, then everybody did.
I was the first guy that put on the slicks at Chicago. You know, everybody's waiting to see what
you're
happens.
Like the Briscoe.
Yeah.
You're the one with some balls, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I got a set. I ain't afraid to use them. I throw them on the table.
That's
I don't
what
care.
they're for, right?
Exactly.
Alright, Jason H. Number 12.
That's a good pick. Jason went up 1 spot, but he's tied with Jerry.
Paul.
Okay.
Number 11.
I heard Paul sucks.
Yeah.
That was, who was it that said that? Was that Donovan? Little D?
No,
That was
Tony.
early in the season.
Tony.
Tony said that?
Yeah. I don't think Donovan knows Paul. No,
I
No,
think
it was
Village.
no, it was Riggs. It was Riggs that said it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, it was Riggs that said Paul sucks because he works for
Well,
Paul too.
Okay.
Not at the
Riggs
truck
can
stop.
say that because Riggs
At the factory, Riggs works with him. Paul works at the factory and he works at the truck stop with Tony. So,
Okay. Well, Riggs does pretty good at the truck stop, right?
Riggs don't work at the truck stop.
I thought you just said Rig. I
No,
knew Donovan, Tony.
Riggs, Paul, and Tony work at the factory together.
Mm.
Tony and Paul work at the truck stop too.
Okay,
Side jobs.
I got you.
So.
They doing pretty good down there right now?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they both got nice rides, nice houses,
I bet they do.
happy wives. I mean, it's crazy.
That's a business to be in right now, I
Right.
guess. If you're into that kind of thing.
No. It's like I mean, we usually do about hour and a half long episodes on here. My mouth's tired after that.
Yeah.
It's like all the way home, I don't even turn the radio on because I don't want to sing. You know what I'm saying? But
Riggs puts in an 8-hour shift though.
Paul.
Paul. Why do I keep thinking Riggs works down
I
there?
don't know.
Maybe that's a word on the
it's
street.
Paul.
Are you sure Riggs don't secretly work down there?
He may have used to. I know he don't anymore.
Is he
But,
retired?
Paul. He's that guy who goes above and beyond. Like at the end of his 8-hour shift, if one of the other lot lizards don't show up, they're like, "Hey, we need somebody for another 4. Can you stay?" And he's like,
volunteering for
Yeah.
overtime. Hey, you go get him, Paul.
Sure.
You keep doing that good work.
So, Joey in.
Joey N went up a spot.
I know because he
Did
took
you
my
notice that?
driver. And guess what he did this week?
He took your driver
He
again?
took my driver again.
Oh, Joey in with a 6 car. He passed Tyler. I didn't think that was going to happen. I was watching that race down there, but
Shannon, number 11.
what's up with the Denny Hamlin pigs?
I don't know.
They must know something I don't.
Sam, number 4.
What do you think about that?
It'd be awesome.
It would be awesome.
Just like we said.
I think
you
Sam
said
is
last
going
week.
kind of on the emotional pick like I am with Chase Elliott.
That's where he got his first win after Dell.
Well, I hope Sam picks a winner. If I don't pick a winner, I hope Sam does.
Me too. Hunter.
Oh, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
He went with the 7, didn't he?
No,
No?
he went with 54.
Hunter, what are you doing?
He's trying to fall some more spots.
Hunter's
That's what
just,
he's doing.
he's just pulling aside, letting Sam go by. Or Chris. Or both. Hold on, who'd you say you had? 54?
Yep, Ty Gibbs.
My gosh. Okay.
You already got Scott's number down?
Oh, yeah, I got the 6.
Okay.
He's.
Brian,
Did he pick the 7 car?
number 9.
Oh, that worries me. That worries me a lot because Brian is in 20th spot and he's falling. He fell 2 spots.
Mm-hmm.
He's still right there next to Jess. He's got the MTJ hair and the beard.
Yeah.
That's what Jess likes. So that's what Brian.
Yeah.
So they just can't get away from each other.
Yeah.
It's just nuts.
Tony,
Oh, here we go.
number 12.
I figured there'd be a lot of 12 picks. Tony's doing pretty good. He went up 3 spots from last week.
That's all I got.
That's all you got? So we're still waiting on a few, huh?
Yep.
Well, they better be getting them in here. They got about 20 minutes. I'd say there's going to be a few usual auto picks, probably, right?
Mike R hasn't picked since I think the 4th race of the year. That's no exaggeration.
Now, when you get auto picked, I'm going to tell you, since you're going to be in this next year, bub,
Yeah.
If you don't make it by 7 o'clock on Thursday, if you don't have some what's the word I'm looking for? Extenuating
circumstances. Yeah, we've had people in hospitals and.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a good reason that you can't make 7 o'clock, we'll extend the deadline for you. But if you're just
once, twice.
yeah, I mean, we'll make exceptions. But
We've had people that's had deaths in the family and stuff like that. And
how's Jeremy doing?
I haven't talked to him, but I know Jeremy. He's a tough guy, and I'm sure he's still feeling the pain of losing his mom and stuff. But
I know we give Jeremy a hard time on this
yeah,
episode.
but he's honestly
site,
we do, but he gives it just as much as he gets it.
Oh, he gives
that's
it
what,
more.
That's what we love about him, But I mean, he's a He's just one of the most genuine people anyway. He's a good dude.
Yeah, we give everybody on here a hard time, but
That's the fun
we're
of it.
usually joking about most of them except for HR.
Yeah.
He really is a Bubba fan. He's got the cutouts. He's got
He's
got his racing suit.
He's got the same haircut now. He's been letting the top grow out a little bit, and he gets the fade thing and how the front is squared off and stuff. I mean, he's taking it to a different level.
Well, I want to say something. And don't get me wrong. I love HR. I love our HR. I give him a hard time.
Oh yeah,
and he throws it back at me even harder than what I give him. So you should see my inbox on my texts are just blown up with HR. He's always complaining about how I did something, right?
Tyler just sent his in.
Uh-oh. This ought to be good. Hold on.
Number 9. No, I'm just playing.
Okay.
54. Gibbs.
Well. All right. But HR gives me a lot of grief, and I give him a lot of grief. But we love each other like brothers, because we are brothers. But HR, back when we was in school, okay, Scotty had his haircut. It was a buzz cut, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to paint this picture for Eric as well as the listeners. But it was very impressive, Scott's buzz cut, because when it was a fresh buzz cut, it was about like an inch high, and it was straight up. Top of the hair was just straight up. It was, and he kept it.
Bart Simpson like.
Yes,
yeah.
Bart Simpson. We'll go with that. Very impressive, and he always kept it clean, kept it fresh. But on the rare occasion that he didn't keep it fresh, he'd have a little time. He'd busy week or something. He couldn't go to the barber. It would grow, right? Like hair does, obviously. Hair. The back wouldn't really grow all that much, but the top would grow, and it would just grow and
Straight
grow
up.
and grow. And he had his buzz cut for so long that the top of his hair would not fall down. You know how hair, once it gets so tall, it'll just naturally fall. His did not. And I don't know how he
like
did
a
it.
Kid and Play guy. You remember?
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever seen him, Eric, but the guy from Kid and Play, his hair was like this tall.
I think if you ever see the movie House Party, the two guys that are the lead people on House Party are Kid and Play. They were like a music group back in the 90s.
Well, but I mean, and
90s.
we know, you and I know Scott's hair being like that, but to see his hair growing straight up like that is normal when
Right.
he can't get in to get a haircut or something like that. But he went a step. When I say he went a step above it, he got a perm this time with his hair being where his hair's taller. He got it permed so it's thicker and curlier.
Did he dye it black?
Not yet. He
That'll go good with the racing suit.
right. It will. But I mean he was talking about, I guess they didn't have time to do the color too, or something about the perm chemical mixing with the perm chemical and the color chemical messing up and stuff like that. So he said he was going to get it dyed black soon, but he's got that. He's took that extra step this week. So last week when he got it.
Good for you, Scotty. I'm happy. I mean, if you're happy with that, I'm happy with that. But back when we was in school, this cat would let this hair, before he could get in to get a haircut. I mean, he didn't just let it go. He was busy.
He always cared about his look. He.
Oh yeah, he was.
Did.
He did.
He jumped my ass one time for wearing my black boots with a brown belt. Like ripped my ass.
I can see that.
But I didn't even know it was a
faux pas.
Yeah. He's like, I was walking out of the house. He's like, "Where are you going?"
Well, you're a guy, we don't know what fashion faux pas are.
Right.
I mean,
we're
covered. That's all that matters.
I mean, I'm a freaking hillbilly. It's like, if I have my shirt, my belt, and my shoes on 3 hours after I leave the house, I'm doing good. So I don't really care what I'll go out in. I'm gonna have my jeans or my shorts on, probably all night. probably.
Maybe. Yeah.
But my shirt, my belt, and my shoes, they could end up anywhere.
Right. But Scotty would let his hair get to. I mean, I have seen this hair probably 4 inches long. Maybe longer than that,
Right.
4 or 5 inches long, and it stayed straight up. He didn't put he didn't put nothing on it to keep it up there. It was just his hair was in that buzz cut for so long that it just naturally stayed going up, and we'd give him a hard time about that. And he's like, it won't fall down. I don't know.
Yeah. Usually the natural weight of your hair will eventually pull it down.
Yeah.
Not his.
But no, it stayed up. It was impressive. It was a sight to see. I mean, he's the only person that I've ever seen that could do that, and he didn't even try. So.
Huh.
That's a little HR story for you,
Yeah.
Scott, Eric. So.
Yeah.
But.
We've got some pictures of him like that. I'll have to get some of him with his new hairstyle.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. See if I can get him to put his McDonald's racing suit on. And
Yeah.
Oh, it won't take much to get him to put that on.
He's
He's probably.
excited.
Oh yeah. I'd say he probably wears that when he's going to town and stuff, don't he? If he's in the car, he's in his racing seat.
Yeah.
HR, man, he's dedicated.
Yeah.
And he's very passionate about it too.
You know, and his wife, she loves that man more than life itself.
That is true.
And
my hat's off to that woman because she has.
She's a hell of a woman.
She's put up with some stuff.
But that's a big thing to put up with. Your husband being that big of a Bubba supporter. I mean, it's okay to be a fan.
Yeah.
Of anybody, you know what I'm saying? But to go to the level that.
To be an over the top.
Right. I mean, to be that level of a fan, I mean, it takes some support, you know? I mean.
Yeah. And she's right there with him, though. I mean, she doesn't.
She's not that big of a fan. But of NASCAR. You know, I mean, she likes it, but she's not.
I think she probably only knows just maybe one or two drivers.
Right. She was a NASCAR fan back when we were. You know, we got into it. She was a NASCAR fan back then. She remembers all that stuff and enjoyed all that stuff. But she got out of it kind of like a lot of people did right there after Dale died, stuff like that. But I mean, I love Stephanie to death. But she's a Dallas Cowboys fan, and you know, and that just that always kind of gets me a little when she's like. You know, well,
and she's a hardcore.
Yeah,
Dallas
absolutely.
Fan.
Yeah. Troy Aikman hung the moon to that girl. You know, Emmitt Smith. That's her crew. Not Tony Romo and Dak Prescott and Ezekiel. Not the Chodes.
Yeah.
You know, she likes the old school guys that could really kick some ass.
Yeah.
But she's just never been able to let go.
Well, you'll have that.
You know, so.
Yeah. Well, what do you think, bud? I'm gonna get your opinion on this fantasy stuff.
Who's gonna win Atlanta?
My pick would have been Blaney, because he just always consistently does pretty good there, and he's fast. Ford won last time. Joey Logano won the early one, right? The spring one.
I think he did.
I think he might have.
Yeah. So.
Well, you're doing better than me because I don't remember who won Atlanta last time.
I think it was Logano.
But I think you're right.
Yeah. So.
The Fords are going to definitely be something to contend with. That's for sure. Like I said, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Where do you think, if you were in this all season, where do you think you'd be on that board right now?
Where would I be?
Yeah.
There's only one answer for that.
What is it?
Number one.
That's what I'm talking about.
I appreciate the confidence. I really do.
It's parenting done right there. If you ain't first, you're last.
Yep.
Ain't nothing wrong with silver.
But
vote for Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. So I'm kind of waiting. Oh man, I don't think we'll last long enough to get Earl's pick on the air, but
We'll make fun of it next week, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe it depends on if it's Earl's pick or Sonia's pick.
Tell me who you think he's gonna pick. Who you think Earl's gonna pick, and who you think Sonia's gonna pick. Who would Earl take, and who would Sonia
I don't know
take?
who he has available, but
I don't think he's burning anybody.
Earl's going to be the type that would pick somebody like a Ricky Stenhouse. I mean, and that's not a bad pick, but it's not one of the first people you would think about. You know, you kind of have to dig for that pick. Or maybe a Busher. Busher probably wouldn't be a bad pick. I mean, that guy is on a roll, man. I'm surprised I haven't seen any Bushers on this board yet.
Well, when
Sonya might go with
I was,
somebody bigger,
when I said I was going between two drivers, I said that to you and Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
It was between number 6 and number 17.
I thought about Busher. I did. Sonya's going to pick somebody. I think Sonya might pick somebody like an Elliott or a Larson or a Bush, one of the top guys. More of a consistent guy, even though Elliott's really not been all that consistent
could win
this year.
At any track.
Yeah, could win at any track. She's going to make the smarter, safer pick. Earl's kind of just rolling the dice and say, this guy might do all right. You know, that's kind of how Earl does. So, but Earl was on the ledge just 2 weeks ago. So, but he's already come back and passed me. So, but I'm only 10 points behind him. So, I think my Elliott's going to do it.
Think so?
I hope so. I need him to do something this week.
So we've got 4 numbers.
I'm going to call my Corey LaJoy and say, hey, sandbag a little bit for me. But
we've got 4.
Finish 10th.
We've got 4 people that's already taken him. So.
Corey LaJoy?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, man. Corey LaJoy at Atlanta is a solid pick.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But I don't know, man. That 12 car.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Fantasy aside.
Uh-oh.
Not,
this is where it gets good.
Let's not talk about fantasy here. Give me your... Well, there's Earl's pick.
Oh, well, we did survive. Let me get the big board down here. You got to be careful with the big board, Eric. So,
yeah.
You know, it's a very delicate instrument right here.
Number 9.
God damn it, Earl. I can't pass you if you're going to pick the same driver as me. Hey, I seen them eyes, bud.
Yeah, it's towards the top of the screen there.
I see it now.
I seen them eyeballs heading downward.
That's my girl.
He was checking out the home screen on Justin's phone. So,
well, you know, I mean,
just making his face turn red.
I'm one of them guys that live on the edge, and I love my kids so much. My kids more than anybody in this world. Absolutely.
Well, you have to, yeah.
So,
that's a good pair.
But I've always had that. I've always had that thought, like, what if I ever got in a bad situation where, like, I'm walking across the street, car hits me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've always got my phone with me. Last thing I want to see, I'm going to pull that phone out, hit that home screen real quick, and then I'm gone.
We'll see your girl right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See her and the twins, you know. So,
well,
that's just how I roll.
Now you say that, now see I'm mixed because I've got my grandkid on my home screen.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I've got 5 kids, you know. So I mean, it's like, if I'm laying there taking my last few breaths, I'm gonna be looking at all 5 kids. I love all 5 of my kids, but I don't want to look at one more than the other. I love them all the same. I can just look at this. They know I love them.
You going left or right there?
I'm going right in the middle.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I hope you're wearing that Dolly shirt because I've been looking at that for an hour and a half now.
Dude,
that's impressing me. I've been staring at Dolly.
No, can't ruin my Dolly shirt.
I'm not gonna ruin the shirt, but
I
know what I'm thinking.
I bought
you know what I'm thinking.
I bought 2 when I bought this one.
Oh yeah.
Just so you know.
Okay. Well.
You don't want to see the other one.
You got any comments about that?
I won't even mow in that shirt now. So I'll just leave it right there.
I think we're teaching Eric a few things. He's looking at Dad a little bit differently.
Costs
That's
a lot of
all right.
money to get this way.
I guarantee it.
Okay, so back to what I was going to say.
What was you going to say? You got me all distracted.
No fantasy. Take
Okay.
all that out of
Okay.
the picture. I'm going to ask you both this question.
I'm going to let you go first, Eric.
All right.
Who's going to win? And who could surprise and win? A dark horse, so to speak. Who's going to win and who could be a dark horse?
I'm sticking with my Blaney pick to win. He's only got one win I think this season, right? And
Yeah.
and he's always fast, so I think he'll win. Now dark horse, that's a bit harder to think of. I think somebody like a Stenhouse or somebody could pull it out of nowhere, but that'd be
So Ford to win,
take.
Chevy is a dark horse.
yeah.
What do you think, Chad? And I got a follow-up, too,
Okay.
with this.
Atlanta, pick to win. I mean, I'm going to stick with my Elliott or Harvick, just based on emotional picks. They have a lot on the line. They have a lot of history at the track. So that'd be my favorites to win. As far as dark horses, I could definitely see somebody like a Buescher or LaJoie being a dark horse. I mean, hell, at the last race, I mean, they were bumping and rubbing pretty hard there at the end of that race, and had things gone just a little bit differently, maybe got a little bit more dicey, Corey LaJoie could have won that race. I mean, he finished fourth, so he could have very well won that race.
I'm gonna say my favorite to win is kind of the same way. I'm right there with Keselowski and Harvick, and my dark horse is Bubba.
Yeah, Bubba could win this race very easily.
You know what I mean?
That would definitely make HR happy.
Yeah. But here's my follow-up with it. Who's going to crash and go out early? There's always a few big names.
Well, that could very well be Corey LaJoie.
Right. Well, I mean, it's one of them things of, these super speedways. I mean, there's always one big one. Most of the time, there's a couple big ones. Talking about wrecks. Who's going to be the first to go out? And I'm not talking about like BJ McLeod or something like that. I'm not talking about one of the guys that usually run towards the back, but I mean they could win a race like this as well. But who's going to be the first big name to fall out of this race, whether it be by crash or?
I'm going to go with a Stewart Haas guy just because they have no luck at all this year, and I'm going to say Ryan Preece. And I'm just throwing that out there based on absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I think Kyle Busch.
Well, I'm going to tell you what right now. Take
Kyle
this to the
Busch.
bank. If he don't hit the wall, if he just goes spinning through the grass, that's a good sign for Kyle Busch. Because
He's done it before.
the son of a bitch, I don't know how he does it. But if he can spin out, do some minor damage in a wreck, get through this audio issue here. If he can do some, like I said, just spinning through the grass, restart at the back, he is a very good chance to win this race.
Yeah.
Just because he is just that kind of
Well, Larson's
driver.
the same way.
But
If Larson just goes spinning, he's okay. Don't worry two shits about it.
Yeah.
As long as he don't touch the wall, if he just goes spinning, he's going to be in the top 5 when he's done.
Yeah.
But I think Kyle Busch, just because I think he's had a pretty damn good year.
Yeah.
He's, like I said, he's had a great year. But this is just one of them races that I think he's gonna get caught up in the bullshit. He's gonna be the first big name out, and his day's gonna end early. I hope I'm wrong because I'm a fan of Kyle, and I would like to see him do well. But it's just I have a feeling that's just how his luck's going to go this week. So,
And he's one of those guys that you could very well be right. He might wreck early, or he could win the damn thing.
I mean, he's got 3 wins. He's going to play it. If I'm Kyle Busch, I'm going to go out there. I'm not going to have any weight on my shoulders. I'm going to probably cruise in the back 15 spots, wait for the big one to happen, wait for some of these cars to get off the track, and then start picking them off one at a time like he normally does when he gets teamed up, with the other Chevys on this. That'll be how it'll be this year.
Yeah.
Teamed up with other Chevys, and he'll start going to the front. But I just have a feeling
That's the Denny Hamlin approach usually on these super speedways too.
well, it works for him.
It does. I mean,
Them guys aren't
I
20-year veterans for no reason.
right. I know I give these guys that pick Denny Hamlin a hard time on what the hell they're thinking, but he's a smart guy. I mean, he just falls to the back. You watch, it's going to happen. Denny Hamlin is going to fall to the back. He's going to ride back there for half the race, and then towards the end, he's going to start making his way to the front. So it's just a matter of can he make it or not.
Either that or he'll change out his car after qualifications.
Possibly.
Because you change out your car, you go to the back.
Right.
He might
Just
just say,
depends on
hey,
how good that initial car is.
Yeah.
Take a chance on the backup. Could happen. Could happen. You never know.
It'll be a fun race.
Yeah, it will be. Atlanta's always a fun race, I think.
Yeah.
It's always one of them that I look forward to.
Yeah.
What do we got after Atlanta? We got New Hampshire, Pocono. I know a lot of people might look forward to Pocono, but I never do. It's always just kind of it's just a race on the schedule, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It's boring.
I like Richmond.
I love Richmond.
Richmond's coming up too.
That could be a Kevin Harvick track. You gotta watch it. What was it last year?
What
He won
track
2 in a row.
What track besides dirt isn't a Kevin Harvick track?
Chicago street race.
Right, but that's
Any road course.
He does good on road courses.
Really?
Yeah.
Harvick does?
You look at his average finish at, for a 20-year guy, you look at his average finish at Watkins Glen and Sonoma, they're not bad.
See, I always thought he sucked pretty bad on a road course.
No.
I know he sucks bad on dirt. Don't ever pick him on dirt, but he'll never run that again.
But
so
he will tell you, too. He'll tell you, don't pick me on dirt.
Yeah.
Because he don't want to be out there.
He hates it.
He does not want to be out there.
If I was at the Bristol dirt race, I would be listening to Kevin Harvick's radio all the time. Just because that's going to be colorful and exciting.
Yeah.
But, well, that about does it for us this week. You got anything to add?
See, thanks, Eric, for joining us this week.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah. You got anything else to add, Bub? You got any iRacing spots you want to promote or anything you want to talk about or throw in there?
I don't think so. Just that race coming up on the 30th, live streaming on Twitch. But
yeah.
aside from that,
yeah, you're our electronics guy. We're gonna have to figure out how to get rid of the static.
yeah,
So.
we'll figure it out.
Oh well, we managed through it. We got through it. We're learning. We're learning. We're new. We're new to this whole game. But yeah, appreciate everybody for listening. Join us back next week. We talk about the aftermath of Atlanta. Hopefully there's no, I don't know, I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of drama.
There'll be some drama.
Yeah.
Because, it's going to be a lot of bumping, a lot of rubbing, a lot of pissed off people. It's a high tense situation.
Oh yeah. Anytime you get them pack racing, it's very high tense. So hopefully we have a little bit of drama, but not too much. I don't want to talk about Ross Chastain again, but
this race is like what Ted Lasso would say. It's a wigwam and a teepee. 2 tents.
Yeah. That's some good advice right there. But yeah, join us. Oh, did I mention we're working on some koozies? No. We're working on some merch. Got some koozies in the process. I'm sure they'll be with us at Bristol. We might have some different designs. Right. We're gonna have different colors, different designs. Maybe some T-shirts. Hopefully.
Anybody that feels like they could get one of these koozies from Chad and myself by beating us in a game of cornhole, show up.
Bring it on. We're always up for the challenge.
You beat me and Chad, we'll give you a koozie.
We was undefeated last time.
We'll charge you for it.
Yeah. Undefeated last time we went to Tennessee. I ain't never been beaten in the state of Tennessee in a game of cornhole.
Yeah.
Never.
Impressive.
Right. But, yeah, we'll talk about all that next week. Bub, just like Justin said, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
You might stop in from time to time.
Yeah.
Have some guest spots on the podcast. But we'll see how this Atlanta race shakes up. And we'll see you next week wherever you're at, going to the races. Enjoy it. Bring someone new with you if you can.
Yeah.
You know, get some young guys into this, or young people.
Yeah, guys and
or
girls. Yeah. Whatever they identify as.
Yeah. Which I forgot to tell you. That'll be a story for next time. But my daughter and her girlfriend was at the races this weekend. It was the first time her girlfriend had been to the races. She thought it was crazy.
Which race?
The one here locally in Scottsburg.
Oh, okay. You said weekend. That's what threw me off. So
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
my bad.
I get what you're saying now.
Yeah. I mean, she's seen a car on fire.
So they liked it.
Oh, she absolutely loved it. Seemed like, right?
Yeah.
She come down there twice. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
She ran down
can't
there.
believe it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I guess she had a friend with her. You know, my daughter, of course, she's been to the dirt track many times. She grew up at Brownstown, so no big deal to her. But, you know, her friend was. How do I say this without being confusing? My daughter, her girlfriend, and her girlfriend's friend.
There you go.
I guess her girlfriend's friend loves going to the dirt track.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely loves it. And my daughter's girlfriend was there for the first time. So she's seen a car on fire for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely loved that.
Yeah.
Seen the driver jump out before the car stopped.
Yeah.
She's seen,
Chicken.
which I didn't, which didn't tell you about, but there was an issue in the Crown Vic series where, in the Concy race, where this one guy, these two guys were starting on the front row. The guy on the outside just kept bumping the hell out of this guy on the inside. So they run a lap, they throw a caution, they had to restart. The restart, same thing, just kept bumping the hell out of this guy. They throw another caution for whatever, you know, some of these guys can't drive, but so during that second caution, this one guy that's getting the tar beat out of him gets pissed off about it, and he lets the other guy know by pushing him halfway around the track
Oh yeah.
under caution and spins him out.
Full throttle.
And then after he spins him out, he backs up, rams him right in the front end, backs up, rams him again, and then pulls off the track. So she runs down there again. She said, "Did you see that guy just hit that guy on purpose?" I said, "Yeah, I seen that. That was pretty cool." She's like, "That's crazy. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I said, yeah. Unfortunately, I've done that before. After the checker flag, it was more top speed.
Was Green 13 out there again?
No, Green 13 wasn't out there this time. Thank God it wasn't a demo derby. But yeah, that's she had fun with that. So like I was saying, if you're going to the racetrack, take somebody new. You know, you're going to get some good excitement, good reaction from that new person.
And it gives you a chance to explain what you're watching. You know, I mean, when you're teaching somebody new about it and explaining to them how it works and everything like that, you know, whenever I do that, I become more of a fan myself because you're not just sitting there watching what you've watched for years. You're talking to somebody and you're seeing them pick up on it and learning about it, and
it's fun to see that.
It's like watching your kid catch their first fish. You know,
It's exactly what it is,
Yeah.
you know, and you see that excitement, you see that joy, and you can tell by looking at their face that they want to do it again, you know. So, yeah, take someone new with you to the racetrack, you know. You never know what kind of excitement that's going to bring to them, to you, to everybody around. So, so have fun at the races. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys next week.
right in the face.